speed for us. The time we were working for simulators so bad, so they got that for us. And we've been adding simulators. Light being on like that means there's that ground power plugged in the nose. Cool. So then you can flip the battery on since we checked the logbook. So everything should start to fire up. There you go. Look at you go. All right. And then for us in Alaska, it's just making sure the gear's down when the flap shows up. You look at that, and then the parking brake is set. Okay, that's for us. If there's other stuff you do or you want to, or tell me you do that, I'll kind of cool. So, because the thing that I've found that's so interesting, I have two of my best friends. One flies for American, one flies for United, and then I know people at Delta as well. And same airplane, we all fly completely different. it's just the flows, they're all different. So it's amazing. So, and then a flat panel matches the gauge. Cool. And then, all right. So did the quick safety check on this thing. The other thing that you do for the airplane is we check. We got a gear door. We check our circuit breakers, the fire extinguisher, all these different laundry list of things. Basically, just equipment stuff. Once that's been taken care of, then we do, in this airplane, you would do a fire test. And there you go. So that'll do that. So you hit that, clears it with that. You can do that, shut it up, perfect. Look at it go. Sweet. Yep, there you go. Take care of that. And then from there, we do the overhead panel. This is how we do it.
Yeah, so like check those, the recorder, the gears and that.
He knows the flows. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you just lock the panel, right? Which basically you were telling me to do. So you start over here and do all that. This light is bad in the max if it's on. If those aren't on, yeah, perfect. You can twist those on, perfect. Yeah, perfect. And then you'll just walk, and anyway, so that's perfect, right? You'd come down. You would just check, make sure that this is here because that's a separate part flow for us. Make sure those are on. Yeah. And then and that actually will get, well, you can do it, that's fine. And then you come down, and then that's all we have. Either pilot can do that, right?
Yeah.
So, and then from here on out, we split it between captain, first officer on what we expect for your flows. Cool.
For Alaska Airlines, you turn these on as well?
So these would come on after you do the walk around. So in this case, you'd leave them off right now. But if I say the FO had done the walk around, you could turn them on. So there you go.
Does that go like? Is that
just stays? That would be perfect. And then
auto?
We will leave these off right now, just for now. Cool. And then sorry. So you'd come here. Let's see. You did here. This, you hit your emergency exit, turn the seatbelt sign off or on if they're not fueling, so turn that on, cool. And then for us, you'd come down here over to that side over there, wander your hands across, make sure the lights are the way you want them, which they look to be about right. And then you'd walk up this direction, make sure this all looks good, so down, green, and we'll set that in a second. Reset the fuel, so lift that bad boy up, perfect. Go to RTO, I love it. Perfect, yep. And then, yeah. And you can go all the way up to the Christmas tree. And then you would come down, these are idle, cut off, brake set again, and then you would check the trim. Yep, it's off, and then in our airplane, the captain would check the trim to make sure that the aileron trim works and the rudder trim is working as well. And then you do your seat and all that fun stuff. Cool. Hit pause and hit for me on the bottom right. Thank you. And go find that. Yep. Awesome. So that'll get the IRS going, right? Cool. So then go back to menu for me. ACARS. And so
this is the new stuff for me.
No, perfect. So this is, so we're doing a pre-flight, right? We're getting the airplane ready to go fly. So click pre-flight. And then init data. And then what you can do is you hit init request. So what we're doing now is we're asking the system to make sure that the FMC knows where this airplane is going. And in the perfect world, it will come up with all the information. So there you go. So flight number, where we're starting, where we're going, estimated time of departure, en route, all that fun stuff. That's exactly how it loads. now that you've done that, the system knows what to load. So you can click flight plan, you can click data request, and then you can click message, and we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's the fuel. Okay, so there we go. So we want the 12.9, so we got 12.9 on the airplane. So we'll go ahead and hit return, and then again hit return. And if we were really on the jet, we got 12.9, so you're going to go fuel on board confirm. You'll send that, and then that lets CLP know how much gas we have on the airplane. So that's one of the final pieces they need when they give us all the information for what the airplane weighs. That they need that from us. Usually that's one of the last things they need is our fuel on board. Watch these. Maybe. There we go. Cool. Anchorage does have a digital ATIS, so go ahead and hit ATIS, and it should load for you. Yeah, okay. Hit send, and then it'll come through and it'll give you a message. In theory. There you go. And then go ahead and you can hit print. And the printer's down here on this airplane, so it will print down here. The only thing different, like I said, is it's beautiful out. I'm not doing 2 miles in mist for you. That'd be boring. So that'd be no fun. So I made it clear. So the temperature and all that will work out for the data. Perfect. I like it. You got your altimeter going, and you can set that one too. I'll set mine. That stuff. Yep. All the temperature. There's an execute, so we always close it. Perfect. And one.
Takeoff.
So go to takeoff now for me. So this is one where you got to go backwards. So that loads because we told it we're doing runway 33, and we would compare that to jetpack, so you can go and accept that. And then if you hit N1 limit for me, you'll see where it was blank, everything loaded. Okay. So it's a 20% D-rate. Go takeoff for me, and then go to page 2, and then I need an iPad. Just 549. So engine, and that is on for the EO. There you go. Yep. And so this is only irrelevant if we lose an engine. Otherwise, everything's predicated on 1,000 for us. And so in this case today, you'll accelerate at 1,000 AGL, which is standard. But then with that number there, you have 549, and then on your barrow, you will set 700. Yep. So that way, if you can a motor when you take off, you would do this. But the plan is we'll taxi off, we'll push back from Charlie 4, and we're going to head out to runway 33. There's one hot spot, which we could have talked about as a threat. I'm familiar with the area, so to me it's not much, but we're going to plan on going Echo 1 Golf, Kilo, probably runway 33, okay? Yeah. The runway departures off runway 33. The performance for runway 33, we already looked at that, is valid. It was valid for a flap 5, 20% reduced on a dry runway, which that's what we have, okay? The route, AT versus program, so the route would be something to the effect of you'd grab the route page, hit RTE for me, and I would have that clearance printed, but it would, just for argument's sake, normally I would have it, and it would say something to the effect of you cleared the no-end for departure, direct KO in for the lever into Fairbanks, climb to 4,000, and then you would read, and I would just say that as filed part or whatever they wanted us to do is K1 lever to Fairbanks, and you would see K1 lever to Fairbanks, and you go, that looks good, okay? We've had airplanes take off and go the wrong way because of the way it gets loaded, so that's why it seems a little redundant, but that's why we do it. Okay, and then the return. So if we take off on runway 33, we have a problem. 7 right's open. It's a long runway. It's a beautiful day. We plan on coming back to runway 7 right. I'd have it in the hole, whatever. We don't have a takeoff alternate. Considerations. So that would be you telling me something you want me to do. If there's anything on your mind, don't let me screw this up. X, Y, Z. If that's it, if that's all there is to it, then we'd be done. And once that's done, you would call as the captain for the 4-star checklist. Okay, so call for the 4-star checklist. Thank you. 4-star checklist. Oxygen's checked 100% right. Transfer switches. So those are going to be up here. They'll be on normal. Seatbelt on. And I'll read. So that pressurization, and you would say set for Fairbanks. MCP, so you'll read the number and the altitude. Perfect. The altimeter, and that is just going to be showing 110 feet, and our acceleration height is 700. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. Terrain display on. Perfect. Auto brake. Perfect. FMC route verified right. Parking brake. Rudder and aileron trim. Be free and zero is what we say.
Free.
But neutral, it's correct. But free and zero is what we say. Cool. And then 4-star checklist is complete. Okay. At that point, as soon as we start pushing back and they're ready,
We do that in our seminar where we wave at the monitor.
perfect.
It's so
There
funny.
you go. Once they start the pushback, they'll call up and tell us that we're clear to start. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can. Well, how? So you packs off, and when engine one is ready, do we isolate that or just leave it off?
Yeah, so you isolate. So in this case, for us, a normal would be turn the packs off. FOs do it, but I'll have you do it. And then put that to auto, just the way we do it. And then we start engine 2 first. There you go. Beauty. And then it'll do its thing. And since we're in a max, it'll motor. The simulator makes it go motor way faster than it really motors. The thing will motor for a minute and a half. If it's warm, it's dreadfully long. It'll go to there, it'll motor.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's satisfied, which there it is at 25, perfect. There you go.
Motor's a lot faster than the
Correct.
max. That we
Yeah, oh yeah, I think they have a bypass in there just because it's the sim. So we don't sit here actually motoring the engine like it would take in the, it's not, oh, you know what? No point in looking at gray sky in a simulator. You don't have to.
Seems the ramp agents are lazy today.
They don't want to move. This is Anchorage. This is exactly what it looks like. The visuals aren't crisp in our sims, but they're accurate. Some sims down in Phoenix we use that were atrocious simulators, but the visuals were a little better. So then isolate that.
Close.
Yep, close it, and then turn the right pack on. Perfect. So we call it isolate, ventilate. Perfect. And then pack off, start engine number 1. Perfect. Once the pushback's complete, they'll call up, say, pushback's complete. Go ahead and set your brake. So push up on the top like you did to release it.
Yeah.
And then, oh, there you go. And then pull back. It's kind of a, there you go. And then pull it back. Now let go of the brakes. There you go. Let go. Perfect. There you go. And now they will disconnect. Perfect. That'll come up. The tug will go away. And then our hardest working employee at the company should walk over and salute you, I think. Maybe we change it. There he goes. Hardest working guy we have at this company is at every airport. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I probably should have left it up. He'll show you the pin. There's his little wave off. Maybe. There. And then you'll have just it'll come across. There you go. And then you got one over there, and you don't have to do the other one. Just buckle that would be good. And then if you need to loosen it, all right. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Perfect. Throw those on. Yep. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. In this case, the FO would do everything you just did perfectly. That's exactly what the FO would do. And then we would, you would call for the flaps, and I would put them out.
Okay.
That's how we do it. But awesome. Okay. Flaps 5, to the left, to the right, and then I would call for taxi. Cool. Sorry, you would call for an after start checklist. After start checklist says start switches, which you would say
Continuous.
on. That's what we say. Electrical generators on. APU off. Probe heat
On.
anti-ice.
Off.
Packs and bleeds.
Auto.
Packs auto. Bleeds set.
Yes.
Okay. And then recall. Did you say check? I'm gonna get those just 'cause and perfect. All right. Then we put the flaps on. I call for taxi. They'll tell us to go Echo Golf Go ahead and release the parking brake. Again, yeah, Echo Golf Kilo. I'll help you out if you need it, but I'm sure you're gonna figure it out. There you go. And then taxi light. And you just do the taxi for us. You can do runway if you want, but for us, you just do the taxi light on. And then you got the tiller. Cool. And that thing is just when you move it, hold on to it, because if you move it and let go, it snaps back. So it's just a firm grip, and then you just drive it where you want. If you're doing little changes, you can actually use the rudder pedals, but the big turns, the tiller is what we use. So perfect. And then it's push to go right, pull to go right. And then you'll just follow this line right here, and that'll take us out that direction. A little bit, yep. And then we'll come up here, and then you'll join whatever I told you, Gulf, and then we'll go out to 330. On the taxi out, around approximately 2 minutes before we take off, which here is almost immediately, I seat the flight attendants. The flight attendants should not be seated for takeoff. And then you do a configuration check. Yep, 100%. And then once you're done with that, you flip the auto throttles on. There you go. And you call for the before takeoff checklist. I'll let you turn first. But yes, you go for that. Perfect. And I'll wait till you turn. There you go. And then I would actually be the top since I'm in the thing. So when I check this, it's coming back. Perfect. And then you'll make the right hand turn up to runway 33.
I know that you taxi faster, but for the first time.
Oh no, you're doing just fine. Just fine. And then once you get straightened out, I would do that before takeoff. So that goes something to the effect of PA has been complete, flight controls tops, you say bottoms. And then I say FMC flaps, to which you say 5, and a green light. Takeoff data. It's going to be the trim of 5.97 set for runway 33 full length. Okay. And then V2, you're just making sure perfect set. Before takeoff checks is completely awesome. And then Alaska 1, runway 33, Varna VCAD, cliff takeoff. Runway 33 cliff takeoff, Alaska 1. So those go on, and then the taxi light comes off for us. Again, the way we do it.
Approaching 3.
It's right. When we get on the road, we'll stop for just a second and go. Let's talk about a couple of things. Okay. So 2 things we can do. You, in our company, the engines stay on the captain's side. Doesn't matter who's flying, and then it's your choice whether you compress them or so whichever you want. Arguments for both, but we just make sure the oil temp is above 37. Okay, close that up. And so when you're rolling down the runway here in a second, you'll hear me say 80. You'll say checks.
And then or do I do the push the yoke down and 80 knots, then I reduce the.
Yeah, you do.
That's all right.
You do. In our book, it says during contaminated runways, but I do it always. So yeah, you do. You push it and you slowly let it come out as you get up towards 80. So I'll say 80. You will respond with checks. I'll say V1. At V1, your hand comes off the power. Yep. And I'll say VR, and then you just nice slow rotation rate, and we start flying. Okay.
Sure.
On your sim at home, does it have the cross, or does it have
the cross?
It has the cross. I don't talk about that.
I don't like that.
No, it's good. If you can fly the cross, it's better. A lot of people like the crab legs. It's just easier. This makes you better. It just takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
And in this case, when we get airborne, we've selected LNAV, we have VNAV, so our bugs will all move on their own for speeds, and then it'll track. It's going to track that magenta line. Okay.
Sure.
Questions on any of that? The only other thing you'll do is you'll stand these up to about 40%, and then I'll say stable. and then you'll say set power, and you'll push that button, and off will go. Okay. Awesome. Questions?
Maybe it's a little warm out, but
Yeah, it'll come down. All right, cool. All right, we're clear for takeoff. You got your lights on. We'll just leave the HUD up so we're not sensory overload here, but we can play with it a little bit. Okay. All right, we're clear for takeoff. So you go ahead and push the power up. Perfect. It'll start rolling, which is fine. And then I will say stable. And you'll say set power. Your hand stays there. I don't touch it. And it'll come up. I will say power set. Check. B1, PR. Beauty. Pause rate.
you're up. Element.
So it'll do it on its own. Perfect. So you can see up here, it's engaged. Cool. And that means it'll start turning when you get there. At 500 feet, you'll say verify LNAV, to which I would respond, it's verified. There you go. And then I'd contact departure, yada, 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 and you just keep flying. Okay, perfect. So we made it above our 1,000 feet without any problems, so now we're just doing a normal takeoff. Now you can see we got above 1,000, the speed bug moved. You're above the white shark tooth, so VH plus 15, you're above it, so you can call for your next flap setting.
Flaps 1.
Perfect. Select it. Select it. And you would say flaps up after you got checked. And I would do that. And I do my, well, you can do it silently, and then I would tell you as soon as the flaps get all the way up, I would say after takeoff check, this is complete. Okay? You keep flying, you're great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. How's it feel?
Great.
Nice.
Almost identical to the one I own.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just everything's so much realer.
Yeah. So then you'll start turning. I'll just have you do part of the turn, and then I'll turn you towards K-Wind for here in a minute. So there you go. Climb and maintain 3 circles. Here we go. So keep that climb going.
Pretty snowy out here.
Yeah. It was for a winter setting. So you made your route above 3. Now you're gonna get, you're gonna still maintain 230 because it's got it at or below at life. So there you go. So we'll keep climbing. Perfect. And then yeah, it'll start doing its thing. And then I don't know if let's do this real quick.
0000 Zulu, wind calm, temperature 7, 2.0, altimeter 3006, arrival runway 02 right, departure runway 02 right, drive, inform controller on initial contact, you have information, Quebec.
Looking outside, just flying the airplane, but we have it hooked up and let you do it. But whenever you want to fly, by all means, you can fly too. It's technically in Alaska, when you're below 10, your hands on the yoke and hand on the throttle. But so then you'll see here, it will pick up. You can see too on my VSD, it's across there like it's supposed to be. There's your magenta for the glide path. So it'll start coming to pick it up here and cross into it. So there you go. And then our stable gate is 1,000 feet. So in theory, you have everything out. Gear and flaps at 30 by 1,000 feet.
Flaps 5.
Start with 1, and then let it go, and then as soon as you want 5, you can. That's perfect. So So then you're within your 10 like we talked about. So if you want to flaps 5, you could ask for it now. Okay. Yeah, so we go 1, 5, 5, you could do 10, but 15, 25, 30, 40. So this will be good because you're gonna, it'll slow a bit, but you'll end up also speeding up a little bit or not slow. The plane actually flaps from it. It's a good spot. So very good. And when you click the autopilot off, you click the auto throttles off. That'll last me.
At the same time.
Same time. You can one at a time. They gotta come off together.
And we have to be within 15 knots of flap side or within
10. And if you're not, like in this case, which you are, you're like right there. So, but the next call would be for the gear, then go to flaps 15, right? There you go. Okay. So you go gear down, then you can call for your flaps 15. That'll do it. Clear to land. Yep. That's the turn down. Since we're using VNAV, it's going to move that lug for you. Otherwise, if you're doing an approach, I'd do it. Those go out and you say flaps 3 lane checks. I would say speed brake. You would say arm read light. Gear. Down to the green. Flaps. You would say 30 in a green light. And then here you go.
I just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you.
Yeah. And then I'd tell you, even on a visual 500 feet above, runway 2 left, you're clear to land on it.
Minimums.
Speed brake. Steering. 2 lights. Start slowing those cursors. And then 60, and then you're gonna have to hit the brakes harder and kick those auto brakes off. 1 and 2. Auto brake this time. Awesome. Take the left. There you go. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Take that first left, and then you can still go speed brakes when you want. Lights, cool. I got these 2. In theory, actually, would be you can fire it up. I'll do it. I mean, FO would do it, or you can do it. Doesn't matter. And then, in theory, there's 2 guys. There'll be people at the gate if you want to go to the gate. Should park there. Should park. Some stuff. There you go. Yeah, in theory. Let's see. In theory, I'd go flaps. I would do your APU. I'd turn these off. I'd get these off. I'd turn those off. I would turn that off. And yeah, that would be my FO. Yeah. Sure. And then I would have, if I was a good FO, I would have started the clock, so you only got 3 minutes. Not required, but most do. And then I make there you see there on that first gate over there.
When we turn the TCAS on,
Yeah, good. It's like I don't even work here. You take my job. No, that's not true. That would stay on. I'm sorry. That gets turned off the gate. Yeah, that's my job when pulling the gate. Ha! And then it'll be that line there. So if you come just a little bit further to the right, just a smidge, and then there you go. Go up there you go. And then start turning. Perfect. because you got to get that big old tail turning back there too. There you go, perfect. He's giving you guidance in. You should straighten out when he wants you to. There you go. You should cross his hands too when he wants you to. There you go. Perfect. Nice. And then set the parking brake. There you go. Let go. Hold that back. Let go of the brakes. There you go. And then, oh fuck. Did you? I thought you did. Well, it's either being slow or it's just taking its sweet time. Well, that's all right. Anyways, I'll do this. I got it. Cool. So we would, obviously that would be on, and then you can shut the engines down, but we'll leave it just as it's sort of flat. But you shut the engines down, and then, that I would do. And so since if it was running, I would bleed them. If they'd had enough time, you'd come up and turn off the, let's see, you go here.
Probes.
Yep, window heat. Those would stay on.
Okay.
So you come up, this is it. Go seatbelt. You go exit lights. Then you go the window heat. Then you'd come back down over here and you'd get the fuel pumps. And then, I'm not gonna see, so it's really screwed. I think that's about right. And then I would do the SFO would shut that off. Cool. And then we would do a shutdown checklist, and that would read something to the effect of parking brake. Start levers, we would say they were cut off. Electrical, we would say is on the APU. Seatbelt is off. Exit lights off. Probe heat is auto, is technically what we say. Anti-ice off. PAX bleeds. This would be PAX auto bleed set for now. Anti-collision, there we go. Anti-collision would come off. Start switches off. Fuel pumps, one on. So you'd have one on for the APU, but if it's not, they'd all be off.
Would it be the aft left?
Maybe, yep, 100%. And then rear transponder off at standby. IRS, that's what it was. I knew we missed one. Those would go off. Leave them on though, since we're gonna fly again. And then quantities. So you would check oxygen, and then hydros, and then our oil. Okay.
What's the minimum oil?
All right, and then Andy, push the power all the way up and all the way back.
That's for takeoff.
There you go, and it doesn't beep at you. That's good. Auto throttles are armed. The flaps are out. The brake is off. Okie dokie. I just need to take off flight freeze. Go. Real quiet. All right, so the same thing, like Grayson, you're gonna push them up to about 40%, which you'll see the end ones up there, and then he would say stable, and then the auto throttles are the two right there. You'll push that. And that'll move them up, and then you just Grayson will call V1. We call V1 5 knots prior, so if you can get it, great. And then VR. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, let her rip.
Okay, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff.
Engine stable.
Stable takeoff. There we go. I'm set. Check.
One.
You're up.
And then you'll hold that pitch just like you're doing, and then when it gets to above 1,000 feet, it'll that magenta. Oh, we're not in VNAV, not long. When he gets to 1,000, the call at our company would be bug up N1 flaps to 1, so you can bug it up for him.
Flaps one.
There you go, and then hit the. Actually, the max goes to N1. Don't listen to me. There you go. Perfect. You give him a bug. Perfect. There you go.
Let's see. Flaps up.
Nice. Cool.
Fix this altitude. That's awesome. It always gets the heart rate up.
Yeah.
And
your
Carfo's above 3,200, so we could make it.
Yeah, and then if you look at your ILS for your DME, you're at 11 miles and you're at 3,500 feet.
Yeah.
3 to 1, you're in a great spot because you're not super fast, right? You're at 210, you're great. So again, you don't need a VDI to tell you where you are. You just do some math and you know you're in a decent spot. Using the approach plate or the altitude at Carfo, great tool. You know, all the things. There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Flaps 1.
Nice.
Check the speed brake arms.
So he'll say arm green light. There you go.
Green light.
Gear down 3 green.
Okay. 3 green.
Flaps 30.
Check. 30 green. Perfect. So it's cleared to land.
Clear to land. Brake. And then grab the reversers. There you go.
Just one more.
Well, it's 2 lights because they go amber.
Spoilers, reverse green, decent.
100. 90. Start stepping. Beauty. There you go. That. And then yeah, if you want to slow down and then take a turn, just if you want to try taxiing like you were saying.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's probably not make this.
We could take.
Yeah, the brakes definitely have something to get used to there.
So in the Max, the brakes they're carbon fiber. They are super touchy.
Yeah.
So it actually they're kind of a pain. If you get on them too much, they grab.
Right. Oh, I see that.
Definitely can ruin a nice smooth rollout. And then yeah, you got your tiller down there, and yeah, same thing. It's just turn it, hold it, and just kind of put it where you want. Put the nose.
I like the British Airways at the Southwest gate.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
787 at a medium gate.
And this actually even has the guidance. That screen up there is how we park now. The rampers don't actually marshal us in Seattle anymore. That machine above them does.
It's the visual backing system.
Yeah.
I like it personally. It's very nice.
It is actually, it's nice. The problem is it's very sensitive, and so yeah, you get a little perfect. No, you didn't go too far. So that you pulled that. Yeah. So hold the brakes, pull that back, and then let go of the brakes. There you go. Perfect. It's kind of weird. I don't know any better. That's just how it works. Nice. Yeah, I know. That was great. Nicely done.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good. You guys, both of you make this look way too easy. You're gonna go tell your friends, these airline pilots, they're just, just prima donnas, man. They think they're so good. I went in there and rocked it. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever Grayson wants to do now, and that was a lifelong dream to do that. So
well, I'm glad we're doing it. This is great.
That's so awesome.
Here, you sit there. I'll get a picture with the lights on too while you turn around. Since you're in the left seat, and we'll get a picture of you with Grayson there too. But however you guys want to do this, because that's a good picture. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Lights will all go on. That's good. Wing and strobe. And then what I need you to do again, just type. Give me a route of Seattle to Seattle.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, no problem.
Fine.
No, whatever.
Make me type this.
I'm just
1-6 left.
But on the runway.
There you go. Departure, throw in the mountain again.
Yeah.
Because we'll actually have you track something just on the takeoff for fun.
We'll do islands.
Very to the left, cool, yep.
He has to show me up and he has to grease his landing.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we'll go 5,000. Oh my god.
That's great.
There's that, and then why don't I have RBR?
Good luck, Captain.
Alright, so just having fun. Alright, flight director on, perfect. Cool. Alright, cliff takeoff.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Okay. Except you lost something. What did you lose? You lost. You need this. Put that back. So low vis, we rely on the localizer to keep us straight. So you got to have that up on your set. There you go.
Stable.
So there's that rotation. The guidance above. You see that? Those two. Looks like a TIE fighter. When you pull back, you'll just keep that thing in the middle. Keep the ball in the middle, nicely done.
80 knots. V1, rotate.
Back, put that thing in the middle. There you go. There you go.
You're up. You're up.
Nice. Now you're going to find that ball. There you go. You'll follow your airplane and go to the guidance cue, and that will take you wherever LNAV wants you, or heading select wants you to go.
Wonderful.
So if you, Andy, give him a heading of like 120, just so he sees that. The ball will move, so you'll go chase it.
Heading 120.
There you go. Bug up for him, so spin the speed up to his up speed, or thereabouts, and then you can see you're above that shark's tooth in your window, so you can call for flaps to 1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
And you'll see the stuff start moving. There we go.
Pull up.
Everything should be out. You're clear to land. Yep, and you'd have your hands there, and you're ready to take over at a moment's notice. Because if the airplane has a problem, it will ding at you. It'll tell you, and then you would go around. Okay. And anyways,
That's what it is.
that's what you see. It'll draw your runway lines, and then conveniently, right before you're supposed to land, they'll go away. And so the idea is you're looking at the bottom of the HUD right now, looking for runway lights. Okay, and when you get closer, you should start to see some contact. And there they are.
Yep.
And you say landing. There you go.
Minimums.
And it follows
Minimums.
that plus Q right in there, and it just takes it right down to the ground. Boom. Click off the autopilot. Beautiful. Same thing's true, you just follow that guidance cue as you roll out. Awesome. Very nice. Bring it to a stop. Very cool. And the auto. There you go, you got it, never mind. You would not be the first person to press token.
Come slightly right. Good. 500. $400.
And then the trick, of course, is to be looking towards the bottom, to be looking for your lights too, and you get a little bit lower.
200. 100.
Lights and landing.
50.
Start following it.
Minimums. Minimums.
Whoa.
Nice.
And flare.
Awesome.
That was firm, but I mean.
Nice. Alright, stow those reversers. I got the jet. And if you want to stow that HUD, you can. You don't have to. Sorry, take a look through it. And you don't have a guidance cue, so you just look outside. But
I'm going to do it for you.
Minimums.
And 80 knots.
Beauty.
All right.
We're going to stop. Nice and set the brake.
Okay. Good deal.